Yikes. What the heck was that mess? What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here. Hope you all are doing well. Thanks for sticking with me after that little bit of a mishap. I don't know what happened there. Something went on with OBS and it decided to start streaming without me, which was weird. I don't know what happened there, but hey, it's working now. Thank you all so much for coming to this hastily assembled and hastily re-upped live stream. This has been kind of a weird week. I know I've kind of led you guys down some weird pathways, but it's been a little bit of an interesting week. Lots of different things going on that have commanded my attention at the last minute. So thanks to all of you for joining me for this hastily rescheduled live stream. I know we got a few of the usual suspects here. Of course, we got Albus Band, Aaron, moderating for us tonight while Ben is a little tied up, not literally, as he said. So thank you, Aaron, of course, for being a part of the mod team. It means a lot to me that I got some people here who are willing to help me out a little bit. It's been a bit of an interesting week, I'll tell you that much. Just way too much going on. Let's see who else we got here. We got Jay Steen in the house as well. Blimpus, welcome. Thank you for the compliments on the Epiphone. It is an awesome guitar. Full demo to come in the near future. And we got Brian Landreth in the house as well. We got the usual suspects here. It's not a whole lot of people, but hey, I appreciate the people that are here watching now. I wasn't sure exactly this would be the best time to do it, but also the opportunity to go do something nice, sort of pre-anniversary date with the wife came up last minute last night. So I figured it would be a good idea to take the opportunity to take the wife out, do something nice together, pre-anniversary, and just have a good time, because it's been a bit of a rough week. I'm still a little scatterbrained by it, if you can't tell already. Oh boy, how is everybody else out there in the chat tonight? All right. Ooh, Jay Steen has gotten himself a JHS Unicorn. I like that one a lot. Josh and the crew, they're doing some really great stuff. Having a lot of fun with this little setup today. Let's talk a little bit about it. So, of course, we got the guitar going on, got the Bjorn Galat Jotun going, which is kind of becoming a pretty good, pretty big favorite in the collection, in the arsenal, so to speak. And I have received word from Aljon that I get to keep this one. So I'm a bit excited about that. You can probably hear the crows outside. Shut up! Shut up! I have the window open. It's just a nice little airflow here today. It's kind of nice out here in SoCal today. First, pedal in line. What I know Aaron is all excited about. It's the Swarm by Beetronics. Next up, we have a dynamic duo, as a matter of fact, of wah pedals that I just got from the guys at Morley. Guys and girls, both sexes work there. First one up is the DJ Ashba skeleton wah, the mini skeleton wah. That sounds good. Now I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Get a little bit more. Sounds nice. And then the George Lynch Dragon 2 mini wah. Which sounds really cool, and it's got another mode that makes it just a little bit more resonant in that, like, you know, that mid-range. Compared to... And then it's got a wah lock, so I can get my, like, Michael Schenker kind of stuff. All on the same pedal, and it sounds rad. Like they both are really quite awesome wah pedals. This is the first experience that I've really had with the Morley wah pedals, so I wasn't so sure how I was going to feel about them. I know people use them, and I know that a lot of players have their signature wah pedals through Morley, but personally, I've not played one myself, so I didn't know how exactly it was going to work for me. In the spirit of that, I pulled up some pictures so you guys have an idea of what these are and what they look like. So what you're looking at right now is the DJ Ashba mini skeleton wah. Now, the thing about it is the skeleton wah is, well, all the Morley mini wahs are not exactly like, how should I put this? They're not exactly the tiniest things in the world. I mean, they're certainly not as many as like the Dunlop mini pedals, but they're certainly a lot smaller than the normal Morley form factor. It kind of feels like this should be what Morley's should be standard. You know, I had a Morley Little Alligator volume pedal many years ago, and it was big. It took up a lot of space on the board. This is just a little bit more pedal friendly. Pedal board friendly, I should say. But it's not like, you know, this tiny thing that you're not going to feel like you can get your foot under. And then this, boy, howdy, would you look at that thing? Oh my God, that's the George Lynch Dragon 2. Just look at that. Purple and yellow tiger stripe. I mean, if that doesn't scream hair metal, you know, then I guess I don't know what hair metal is. But these are two really cool wah pedals, that I'm really excited to get some stuff in and just give it a shot and see how it works for me in the context of my playing and the context of what I do. So far, everything has been like really stellar. I think the build quality of these are great. I think that the sweep of them. The best part for me is that outside of the aesthetics, there really is a reason for the two to exist. It's not the same wah tone that they basically just slap a new coat of paint on and call it a new product. So in a little bit, we'll take a deeper look at the differences between the two wah pedals, but I want to get back to the chat and just make sure that I have everybody here. Will Varela has joined us. How you doing, Will? Thanks for joining in. You have the Dragon 2 as well. Awesome. It is a really cool thing. Aaron says that's the best sounding wah I've heard. Which one of those? Well, you can tell me your favorite when we get to the point of comparing and contrasting the two. Let's see. Jay asks a question about me using Matthews effects lately. Yes, I still am using the Matthews stuff. I don't think that that's going to change, to be honest with you. I do have the Architect sitting over there alongside a few other pedals that I'm looking to work into, like a larger format rig that I'm going to be working on over the summer, which is kind of going to be like my new gig rig. Haha, my new gigging rig. There's a couple other things that I'm going to need to acquire before I really get started on that. And then I actually, behind me, I don't know if you can really, let me go back to the OBS window. I don't know how much of that you can see right there. There we go. I'll just move out of the way. So this is a board that I'm working on that I want to keep exclusively in the studio. Sort of as a direct recording solution for me, for songwriting, and something with a few more options than, say, like I'm using the Nux Cerberus today, which is still like probably, in terms of grab and go multi-effects things, is probably the best that's out there, at least that I've discovered. And that's simple to use and very easy to, get going with. But I wanted to have something that was going to be a little bit more friendly and have a few more options available. So I have the Astronomer on there right now for some of the more ambient reverb work on this particular board. I am debating about adding the Whaler to it as well, but I definitely want to have at least one fuzz pedal on my big gig board. That'll sort of be like my live rig, but I do have this feeling that I'm going to wind up with two on there personally. So short answer, yes. Long answer is I'm using them in various different contexts in a sort of state of build process, as it were. I'm trying to figure out where I would work. I think the Chemist and the Architect will wind up on the big gigging rig, the big pedal board, which I will, use, for all different kinds of shows and live work. The Whaler is really the one. The Whaler and the Cosmonaut are the ones that, although I love, that I feel like I almost have a really hard time placing where those will find themselves in the context of my setups. So for the time being, the Astronomer's on there, the Chemist and the Architect are going to go on a larger board, and then we'll see where the other two end up. Long story short. Dwight Bailey in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining in for the hastily rescheduled live stream. Thank you all so much for joining in, all 8 of you. Yep, this Cerberus is really cool. All right, so let's take a little first listen and kind of compare these two Morley wah pedals. So first and foremost, the feature rundown, we're not going to get too, deep into that because obviously there's a reason that they're here, and that's because a full-on demo of these pedals is going to be coming in the near future. So I'd rather just get to that there. But essentially all you need to know, they're the same size. They all have the switchless wah circuit that Morley is famous for, so you can literally just rock the pedal and then bam, there you go, the wah is on. Now the DJ Ashba is a more sort of traditionally voiced wah. It's meant to be a bit more on the versatile side, and it has a very kind of classic sweep to it. Just kind of go ahead, play a chord and sweep. and then when you rock it all the way back and don't put pressure on the pedal, it turns off. And I like that. I like that it's got that, the image of it, the artwork on it doesn't suggest the tone that you're going to be hearing. So put on some heavier distortion. And that's really all that you need to hear about it. It's just a really great wah, voiced right, and it is kind of, DJ Ashba, which, by the way, Aaron, is A-S-H-B-A, like Ashba, B-A. It's, like, phonetic kind of thing going on. And it just has like a really great tonality to it. He's much more of like a rock guy than sort of, like, whereas George Lynch much more in the metal school and the hair metal way. This is much more of like the rocker's wah. And, I'll agree with what Will Varela just put up in the chat is, he's got the old fashioned crybaby, but these new Morley pedals are just freaking awesome. And they really are. Getting these in has actually inspired me to do a video where I just kind of gather up as many wahs as I can possibly get my hands on and just, rifle through them all. And sort of like how I did years ago with the volume pedals, doing that same kind of idea with the wah pedals. Now, moving to the George Lynch one, the voicing of this particular wah is just a little bit different than the Ashba. It doesn't have quite that, like, peakiness. And when you slap on some dirt, it's got a little bit more throw in that end where it really does have that cut. But a lot of that can be contributed to the fact that it has a built-in wah boost called loudness, which I believe is active whenever you put the wah on. It also has a secondary voicing that they call wow, which sort of shifts the resonant peak of the wah. So I'll just kind of sweep that. You can hear that it shifts that bell, that sort of bandpass filtering, a bit lower on the mid-range frequency spectrum. Going back to the normal voicing. That normal voicing peaks out a little bit higher in the high mids, and when you shift it to wow, it's much more, kind of like a talking like this kind of thing. Yeah, that was weird, but still, I feel like it illustrates the point. So let's slap on the distortion again. Let's hear some of that wow voicing. So I feel like maybe WoW would be a good voicing for a player that when it comes to their wah sound, they tend to like to live within that kind of growly portion of the sweep of the wah. It tends to rest in a certain area, because I find what you can do with the wow is that you can rest sort of at the higher range and just make very subtle motion with it in order to have this kind of nice emphasis, if you will. So I'll go ahead and kind of show you a little bit of what I mean. Definitely has that kind of thing going on. And then what's cool is that not only do you have the two voicings on the wah, you also have the wah lock, which essentially lets you set a frequency point and be able to just, with a click of a foot switch, have that kind of filter sound. And you can, you know, change the notch on it, which is down on a knob. So it's very cool, you know. Got a lot of little options on that one. So it's a bit more versatile, but if you want something that's voiced a little bit different, you want a couple more options because maybe you're a lover of options. You know, the George Lynch might be a good one for you to go with, but if you're someone who tends to like, you know, just something really classic, then you can go ahead and get the skeleton wah, and you're going to have a nice sort of classic, but with a twist kind of sound to it. Aaron had been asked about the cost of these, so I'm going to actually go look that up right now. I don't actually know. It's been years since I bought a Morley, and, you know, full disclosure to you guys, they send these to me, and I don't have to pay anything for them, so my knowledge of the cost is often not very good. So let's see if we can find out a price. Okay, we got American Musical Supply. That's a normal music store. I don't want to buy it from Best Buy. Let's see what they got. I'm looking it up right now, guys. Okay, so win the gear of Periphery. Oh, maybe someday. Okay. So the full-size George Lynch wah, it has it actually in a range of prices, $137.95 to $162, which I'm assuming is because maybe they have like demo models, so you can save a little bit of money on that. Morley does have a mini wah pedal that's not a signature. That's $159. Let's see. Yeah, they actually don't have these ones on there, like any prices on their website. But all I know is that both of these, at least I believe, both of these are limited edition. So I can imagine it probably being a little bit difficult to come by some of these. I would just suggest reaching out to Morley on that. But if I had to guess, it'll probably top around $200. I didn't see anything over $175, so there you go. Hey, Lawrence, Petros Design has joined us, people. What's going on, my friend? Thank you so much for joining in on a live stream. I know we catch each other in a few other live streams here and there, but it's good to have you in one of mine. Thanks for joining in. Hope you're having a good one. All right. Now I guess we could get to the main event because it's kind of like the buzz pedal. No pun intended there, by the way. And that is the Beetronics SWARM. Woo! Man, that is nasty. And it has kind of a video game quality to it, which is, I think it's a lot of fun. So basically, what is the SWARM? And I'll actually unplug this one. Hot. So I actually got this from Felipe because last weekend, him and the Busy Bees over at Beetronics threw a little launch party for SWARM. And I went up and visited. We had a good time. We had a few laughs, had some pizza. You know, all sorts of good things abound when you go to the hive of Beetronics. Excellent hair day. Thanks. You know. What can I say? It works for me, supposedly. So, the SWARM. This pedal is a fuzz and a harmonizer together in one. Now, what I always love about Beetronics when it comes to their stuff is that I think it's because they're all musicians. They all work within a studio setting or have had a lot of experience with it. Is that there's a lot of concepts from recording equipment and console equipment that tends to find its way into their pedals. So the three chicken head knobs that sort of form the upside down triangle on the SWARM are all level controls for a fuzz tone, the harmony level, and then a sub-harmony level. And then on the side is a master volume control. So basically, you can create your mix of your original fuzz guitar signal and the harmony signal along with it, and then be able to adjust the overall volume of that with the master volume, which comes in real handy because sometimes as you start turning these knobs, the level starts to increase. You might find yourself pushing the front end of your amp just a little too far, especially when we deal with lower pitches than a guitar is used to. It just becomes one of these things that it becomes difficult to manage. Then in the center is the species knob that allows you to select the harmony that you're going to have. And then the flight and the sting are sort of controls for frequency modulation. I'm not even going to bother explaining it. We'll get to it when we actually get to the demo of this. But all you need to know really about SWARM is that essentially it's fuzz and harmony that can kind of sound like old school Nintendo music, as I was trying to go for that vibe in that little playing example. But despite how unrealistically crazy it can get, there's a lot of really great functionality to it that makes it much friendlier to get behind than some of, say, like the other whatnots that might be out there today. I was saying to someone at the party, the best thing about Beetronics right now is that a lot of their pedals, which I actually have the Walk to Hell as well. So Walk to Hell, Swarm, heavier, not so heavy. So this one is going on that little board that I had down there. As strange as these can sometimes sound with some of the cool different things that they're doing, they make it very accessible to control their effects, as well as making it very accessible to be able to just use these things normally. So if you really wanted to, you could just use the fuzz that's on the Walk to Hell and the Swarm. You wouldn't be using it to like maybe 90% of its potential, especially with this. There's so much more to it than just the fuzz that's built into this. But this is just a really great crunchy fuzz tone that I don't really have anything that sounds like it from a one knob fuzz. And yes, Will, it is B, like B-E-E, exactly as you spelled it. So I'm looking forward to doing the demo of this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. No offense to him, because he's Rabia and he can do whatever the hell he wants. But he kind of stole my idea of trying to make and play video game music with it. So I'll come up with something. I'm a smart guy. At least I think I am. I don't know how smart I am these days anymore, to be honest with you guys. That's just what happens. Okay, apparently Lawrence is working on new pedals that Aaron is excited to hear. I don't know what Lawrence is working on. I've been a little out of the loop, to be honest with you, on stuff recently. But I look forward to seeing some more coming from him. I hear nothing but good things about your pedals, Lawrence. If we survive till Winter Namshon, I'll attest to your intelligence. Yeah, I don't know if I can trust my intelligence much these days. This is all a joke, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's new, and that's what's on the block. Will, am I going to NAMM? I'm not going to Summer NAMM. I couldn't make that happen this year. I have to go to my drummer's wedding in August, so a lot of my funds went to go to that trip. I'll always be at Winter NAMM. That's a half-hour drive at most for me. Okay, Lawrence, I will check out the Instagram. I'll make sure I'm following you too. I thought I did, but maybe I was wrong. But I'll always be at Winter NAMM, Will. I'll always be there. That's easy for me to make. Summer NAMM is not always easy for me to make. That's the only thing. I would love to go to Summer NAMM. I actually just talked to a friend of mine in Nashville today. All right, Lawrence, just threw you a follow on Instagram. So I'll be sure to keep an eye out for what's new and what's good in there. Drummers get married? Yes, mine does. Mine does. And good for him too, you know. He's the only drummer I've ever had in my entire career that hasn't completely pissed me off. So that's a fantastic thing for me. What else can I say? I can't really say much else about it, though. He's become a great friend. And yeah, he landed a good one, and I think he did the right thing. He knew that he should probably put a ring on it sooner rather than later. They're really good together, and that makes me happy, and it makes me happy that he's happy. It makes me happy that she's happy. They're both good people, and I'm excited. It'll also be a nice excuse for me to get out of town, It's going to be in Hawaii, so it's been a few years since I've been there. The wife and I are going. We Airbnb'd it this time, so we'll be staying fairly close to where the wedding is happening. But we've been to Hawaii a couple times already, and we've had a lot of fun. So I'm just looking forward to having a nice, relaxing, week away. But we're doing some weird flight patterns, though. That's the only thing that's kind of strange to me. Is we're flying out of Ontario airport here in California, not in Canada. We're flying out of Ontario to get to Hawaii. But we have some weird layovers, and when we come home, we're actually doing a red-eye flight, which I'm hoping I'll be able to sleep through, but I don't know. I'd take Hawaii over Nashville in summer anytime. Yeah, definitely. Although the only thing for me is that it's been much longer since I've been in Nashville than it has been since I've been in Hawaii, and I have a lot of people that are friends of mine that are in Nashville, a lot of great connections that I've made because of Winter NAMM. So I would love the ability to go back there and, reconnect with some of these people. I would love the ability to, just make some new connections happen, because Summer NAMM just has a completely different vibe to Winter NAMM. And I actually, looking back on my experiences there, I gotta say that the vibe of Summer NAMM is much better. I like it a lot better. So many people seem to be in such a good mood about things, whereas it seems like in LA, because everybody's trying to make it in LA. There's a lot of skepticism, and there's a lot of cynicism about it, and it's just not like they say fake it till you make it, which is something that I think there's a validity to. I think there is validity to that idea. Act like you belong. It's really true. It does work. You'd be amazed where you can get to and the places that you can go if you just 100% believe that you belong where you're supposed to be. But there's just something about the way of that cynicism of Winter NAMM that kind of wears on you, and it sucks, and Nashville's not like that. Nashville, it's a town built off music, so everybody kind of just knows that that's what goes with the territory, and they're kind of cool with that. So I like that. I'd love to go again. I'm gonna try to make it happen next year. I'm hoping over the course of, say, the next year or so, we can really build up the Patreon, which you can go to right now, patreon.com/Sean Pierce Johnson. Check out the tiers, get in on that, because we're going to be doing the full-on launch of the Patreon page next weekend on June 15th. So by that point, you'll start seeing some other things on the channel about it that's going to be constantly plugged. It's going to be kind of a reoccurring thing. So I'm hoping that Patreon will be able to help me fund trips like this, like going to Summer NAMM. And, maybe, I don't know how it's going to work out in the near future, but I know a bunch of my friends are over at TGU right now. I would have loved to have gone this year if I would have been invited. But we need to just grow the channel, keep growing the community. And hopefully over the course of the next year, we'll be able to make some more things happen. There's a lot of cool stuff that I'm working on right now in terms of videos. You guys voted on a poll, and a lot of those options were things that I am considering working on over the summer and will be worked on. And your feedback that you guys provided to me was great. I was not anticipating nearly half of you that voted to be as interested in songwriting. I didn't think that was something, because I don't see it addressed on a whole lot of channels. But I love songwriting and I love production. So I'm going to be working on that this summer, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to get some more of those Stompbox Smackdowns going so that we could get some pedal ABs happening and have some fun with that. That's probably my biggest creative outlet at the moment in terms of like pedal stuff. But hopefully over the course of the next year, we can make a lot of stuff happen, and hopefully Patreon will be able to make that happen. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining in, my friend. Let's talk and chat again sometime. Maybe I'll bring you on and we can talk a little bit about pedals, talk a little bit about your experience, because I know some of you guys have been wanting some interviews to happen. So maybe we can make some things happen. So have a good one, Lawrence. We'll talk soon. Songwriting is what got me signed in 05. Still my favorite thing to do. So big. Up to you on that. Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate that. This is funny. Remember, you said it. Next year, she hates her husband's friends. Why are you drumming? I need a new car. Well, she's a screenwriter, so she works in Hollywood. So, you know, she'll do fine. I'm sure they will all do fine. First time Aaron has been single in 8 years. Bring on chicks with accents. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Homeboy's out on the prowl. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You go on with your single self. Live life. Enjoy your life. I know we've talked off camera about this, so you live your life, man. If you're happy right now, that's the most important thing. Screw being unhappy. That's the worst. Duh. All right. Wow. Thank you all so much for actually sticking with this whole thing. That was really weird earlier with, you know, the whole OBS starting in on itself. That was really strange. We're going to cut it a little short today, just because this was so hastily arranged. I don't have a whole lot else to say other than, you know, we're definitely going to be having the demo of the Swarm coming up now with Morley sending some pedals. I'll actually go ahead and unplug those. So that you guys can actually see them. In the wild and real. You know, they aren't huge. Well, they aren't huge, but they also aren't tiny. So, but they look badass. They look cool. We're gonna be doing some more stuff with Morley over the course of the year. After this, I know that they have some other things that they're working on, but they're keeping that close to the chest. So I can totally respect that. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying the sound of these things, and it's been an eye-opening experience. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just call it right now. We're almost at the 45-minute mark, but I just got to say thank you to all you guys that stuck with this and watched, that joined in for this very hastily put-together live stream. To be honest with you, about an hour before I got online to do this, I was not even sure I was going to do it. I was honestly at a point where I was so scatterbrained and tired that I didn't even know if I was going to have the energy to do it. But, you know, it was great to see you all and great to interact with you all. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming, and I hope that as the summer goes on, we'll be seeing more cool gear coming in. And if there's not cool gear coming in, I hope you guys are going to be enjoying some of the stuff that I'm going to be working on. Tomorrow, do stay tuned. We got another fuzz pedal from KMA Audio Machines on Stompbox Saturday. We have the Minos Germanium Fuzz coming up. That sounds great, and I think you guys are going to like it, and I think we're going to have a lot more fun. This is quickly working towards the launch of Patreon, the celebration of my 10th year anniversary on YouTube later in the summer. This is going to be a big time year, and hopefully the summer will be a start of a lot of fun, and then working towards 200 episodes of Stompbox Saturday. I may have said too much already, but please, if you guys haven't done so already, I would always appreciate you sharing the channel and the videos with your friends, helping us grow the community, sending them to the Patreon page, and also just subscribing always helps. If we can get another, I believe I saw that I was at 4930 something. If we can get another 70 subscribers, so maybe another 10 every day over the course of the next week, I would appreciate getting to 5K by the launch of the Patreon so we can have some really good momentum going. Thank you guys all so much. Aaron, Brian, Dwight, Jay, Will, Lawrence, you were in here for a while. Oh my God, I want to acknowledge everybody. Jay Steen was in here. Brian Landreth was in here. Blimpus, all you guys, thank you so much for sticking around for this. This was a lot of fun, and thank you for joining the haste. And until next time, my friends, same bat time, same bat channel. Sean Pierce Johnson here, wishing you all great tone and happy stomping, my friends. Have a good night.